The South African Human Rights Commission says it's concerned about some political remarks and behaviour. These include threats of violence, xenophobic rhetoric, the defacement of political material, desecration of national symbols, including the flag, and disruptions to essential services such as education. For more on this, I'm joined by Nomahlubi Khwinana, who is a commissioner with the SAHRC. Good afternoon, Commissioner. Thank you very much for your time. Is this new? Is it something that you've been observing for a while, or have there been incidents recently that that really got you concerned?
Thank you, and good afternoon, Vuyo, and thank you for the opportunity. Vuyo, there has been some recent developments insofar as these incidences, and that is why we deemed it fit that we should then put a statement together where we say that as a commission we will continue to monitor any violation of human rights. So it has been a concern from our side, and that is why we have acted in the manner that we have done. But what we have realized is that these are some of the things that have been happening, but until such time that our communities are educated on what they should do and not do, especially during this time, which is crucial in our country, where we go into the polls, that whilst we go there, we should still remain tolerant of our differences, of our diversity, so that we are able to vote freely and voluntarily. Thank you.
Would you mind, just highlighting, or at the very least mentioning, some of those recent developments, as you call them?
Well, you have realized that, as we have mentioned there, amongst others, this would have been xenophobic attacks, or there would have been hate speech, or even other people inciting violence. I mean, there was a video going around where there was food that was cooked, and you know, the community was up in arms because of that particular party having cooked for those that they were trying to recruit to their party, and that food did not see the day or the light. Unfortunately, it was all over the floor. So these are some of the things that we have seen. However, we have not, as a commission, yet received formal complaints, especially with regard to some, except for what is just happening in the social media. But we are monitoring, and there will obviously be instances where, as a commission, we might feel that it would be prudent upon us to rather register some of these inquiries as a commission, because we are also allowed without any particular person complaining.
Correctly. I mean, your mandate requires you to proactively look at such things. But did you have any interactions with your IECs, with your political players ahead of this election, even if it's just to, sensitize them around these issues?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, we actually did. In fact, what we have done is we have been accredited as observers as the commission. So on those days of the elections, which are the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th, we will be allowed to go around observing in a regalia that is provided by the IEC, where we will also be able to report in real time. We as a commission have also developed an app that we are using to ensure that there's reporting of any violation that may be happening, so that it can be attended to timelessly. So we are alive to a number of things. We've even engaged other stakeholders, like the Center for Human Rights, where, amongst others, we have discussed the misinformation, disinformation that is happening in the social media space. And there we are having a statement that we have also published, with regard to Digital Alliance, and where we are also going to have our human rights defenders to be observing what will be happening around us, so that all that can be reported, which will assist the IEC to act accordingly, but at the same time with an effort to ensure that we harmonize the elections. Thank you.
Now, your statement says, in part, and I quote, although freedom of expression is sacrosanct and enshrined in the Constitution, the Commission holds that speech that seeks to enrage, coupled with xenophobia, hate speech, and incite violence, as we head to the polls, is inconsistent with the values espoused in the Constitution, close quotes. Now, people who run for, political office, may not be as, appraised of, what involves freedom of expression. And they may say things that they believe they are free to say, when in reality, those things or statements could actually harm. How do you propose we deal with this, with those sorts of things?
Well, as a commission, you'll understand that we have our mandate, amongst others, is to promote, and this is where we then educate. So we educate everyone, all the political parties, even the members of public, so that such things are avoided. So we've got material that we will distribute from time to time. So we've hit the ground running since January, where we have been going to different areas, where we then teach different members of the public on what is to be said and what is not to be said. And we can only hope that they are getting learned through those engagements that we have had with them. But it is also imperative to say that ignorance of the law is never an excuse. So our people must, whilst they engage in politics, they must school themselves. It can never be heard that you'd want to engage in that space and not school yourself. So that's what we are advocating for: education to all those that want to get involved and to those that will benefit ultimately from the elections. Thank you.
Nomahlubi Khwinana, thank you very much for your time. So the Commissioner with the South African Human Rights Commission. Ignorance is not an excuse, reminding politicians that you should be mindful of your actions and how they may impact especially vulnerable groups. Freedom of expression is sacrosanct and enshrined in the Constitution, but you cannot be involved in statements that promote xenophobia, hate speech, or that incite violence.